Hi guys, so today is Friday, December 1st, and I think today will be etched in our memory as a very significant day historically. It's comparable to the Watergate because Michael Flynn basically pleaded guilty. So it feels nice, right, to have, it feels like we're getting there. And somebody mentioned in the comments, and from now on, I think I'm going to try to mention everybody's names. I don't know why I wasn't. I think I didn't want to put anybody on the spot. That's why. But anyway, so this person, her name is Renee. She's been commenting for a long time. So she mentioned something in the comments that it feels as though a weight has lifted. This was before the Flynn thing, and I agree. I really do feel like things are shifting in our direction. I think they were shifting our direction in the invisible realm, but we couldn't see it yet. So hopefully this is just the beginning. We're going to start seeing justice happening, right? More often. So I prepared 2 readings today. This is the first, and it's probably repetitive, and I'm going to try to go through it really fast because it's the tax bill again. I know I've done 2 readings already that both of them said that it's not going to pass. So far it has not passed, but I read something just now with Mitch McConnell, and he said he has enough votes. So I just wanted to, it's also a way for me to test if this really works, right? Because sometimes I am doubtful, but so far everything seems to have worked. So anyway, so I just wanted to show you what I've done for the tax bill update. And what I've done, it's interesting because in topics like this, where we know it already, right? There's nothing new. We just want to know how the shifts are happening. And for me, in the case of something like that, where really there's no doubt, it makes no sense to pull out the tarot. I think the Lenormand is much better because it's super direct and it really tells you what's going on. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, let's look at what I did. Is I just did a 9-card reading, and that's it. And so let's look at what it's saying. So you could see without the tarot, we don't really have the emotional or a lot of detail. We'll just go straight to the facts. Okay, so let's start at the center, which is the house. And if we look at everything that's around it, okay, let's look at, now we've seen that the house really is the core. And I think obviously in the context of the question, it could be the White House, it could also be the Senate, right? Okay, so looking at we go left to right, past, present, future. The left says letter, garden, and bouquet. And letter, in this case, I think it definitely means document. And then garden means the public. Okay, and then bouquet means a gift, appreciation, something material. Okay, or it's very positive, generally speaking. So it's interesting to see here that this is a document that somehow affects the society or public, and it's described as a gift because we know that this tax bill, quote unquote, is a gift to some people, not to the majority of people. So it's interesting that it impacts society by giving gifts, through gifts, right? That's how it's putting. So interesting. Anyway, so then we look at the present. The whip means fighting, aggression. So fighting with or related to the house. And the White House could be the Senate. Through what is the clouds? The clouds means lack of clarity and problems. So this entire, both the fighting environment and the lack of clarity. So basically it's saying fighting through the house or within the house or as an influence of the house happened through lack of clarity or like all these problems, all these ongoing things, okay? And then on the future position, we have the snake, the key, and yes, the scythe. So the scythe being the last card in the spread tells me that it's going to be cut. And it's interesting because the key here, the snake can be interpreted as problems, And obviously, we could read a lot of politicians as snakes. So the key is the solution, or the core of the issues are the snakes. And the snakes are cut because the scythe here is essentially saying, if we look at the traditional method, which is the thing, okay, the first card on the 3 is a what, and then the second modifies the what, it gives an adjective, and the third is how. Okay, so we'll say the key snakes are cut. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. But I think ultimately, if we read now the rows, it's saying fighting letter, aggressive law through snakes. So the snakes are trying to put a very aggressive negative law into place. And then basically the core issue is that the public affects the government. I think ultimately, not just the government, but the House, either the White House or the Senate. The public perception of the House is key. So I think because we are seeing here, we know obviously that the public does not see very positively this whole Russia thing and everything that's going on. This is key. This is the solution. This is how it's going to impact the result. And at the bottom, we see the lack of clarity in terms of what are these gifts, right? Who's benefiting from this law ends up makes it so that it is cut. And I've seen a lot of senators online posting little videos saying, look, we got a 500-page bill. We can't even read it, and we're supposed to vote for it. This can't be. So it's exactly that. The cloud, the lack of clarity, nobody knows what's in it, so it's going to get cut. There's a total lack of clarity here, and it's significant, okay? So that's that. So this first, I did this reading in the, I think, late afternoon at some point. I did it quickly. And then okay, so then I went back online and I saw that they said I had enough votes, so I got concerned again. And I did a fourth one, just so you know. I had done one, I think, before, and I was like, it's not clear if if it really is going to happen. But then I think the important thing in these circumstances is the question. So you have to look back at the question. What question were you asking? You have to be really, really super direct and final in the question. You can't leave any open-ended avenues. Okay, so at this, for the very last time I asked, so is this bill going to pass? No, is this bill going to be killed for good, or will it pass? Okay, because right at the end, you can postpone it as long as you want, but ultimately it either passes or it dies. Okay, so that was the question. Is it going to pass, or is it going to die for good? So if we look at the first column, so here it's interesting because the bear is in the center. The bear is a card of finances, personal finances. It's also the card of boss, and it's a card of power, ultimately. So in a way, you could say that this card of the bear could be described as the powers that be card, okay? So this card of the bear is at the center. And right away, I'll just show you quickly, 3, 6, and 9, the last column. This tells me directly that it's going to be dead because you have the coffin. And actually, you know what? I feel like I don't even have to explain to you all the other cards because we have a very clear answer because it's the future. So it's saying killed, right? The coffin is then an ending. And next to the anchor means definite ending. Definitive ending, long time ending, and then you have another thing that echoes the same meaning, which is the 9 position, the mountain. So an ending becomes permanent through long-term challenges and oppositions. Okay, so that's really the answer here. And I can go through, for example, we could look at the 147. Foreign influence, trying to move the start here, trying to move away from the problem for foreign influence, the whole drama, through snakes, through something sneaky, in a way, right? Trying to maybe even use the distraction of the Russia thing to pass something sneaky. And then we have 789, which is the new, something new related to the snakes, encounters a lot of opposition and long-term problems, which is the mountain. And then here, the 258, we have aggressive, fighting, powerful people want to fighting. Powerful people create painful circumstances in order to push the child, which is a new law. Okay, so you have all these different circumstances here. I don't need to get into it. It's just the way. I just wanted to show you that twice. It showed me again that it's not going to pass, even though Mitch McConnell keeps saying that it will. We just have to wait and see until when they're going to push it. But as far as right now is concerned, it's saying no. Okay, very clearly twice. And that's that. All right, so let's move on to the next reading.